We just got out to the new place, and first thing we got to work on is getting a new well. So the cabin is on septic and well, and it's got city power, but currently this property and the neighboring property, who is also one of the owners of the house, they want a new well installed. So I got a couple quotes, and the numbers are ridiculous, and I'm a controls engineer, and I've done enough construction in my life that I'm going to do as much of it as possible. So I'm out here marking lines. I'll go out there in the yard and show you. But first off, I got to make sure we got enough power for the well, right? So the well pump's going to need a dedicated 230 going out to it, or 240. So we have a 100 amp service, so pulling a sub panel off for just a well would be fine, but probably going to want to upgrade the service. I was going to do the service upgrade later and just run a sub panel off of this one, but there's no open spaces. So here's our nice little diagram. So it looks like we got the shed, the kitchen. I don't know what this guy is. This one's not marked. So this is the kitchen, and we got another 20. I'm going to guess that's outlets and lights. Let me find out real quick. Nope. No idea what that is, so we're not going to do that again. This is the main, so this kills the house. That's a 100 amp double throw. We got a 30 for the hot water tank, also double. And then we got two 20s, which are our stove. And it looks like fan above the counter. So I don't know what that is, but let's see, what do we got going up here? Oh, we got an extra battery just in case. You never know. So this is going to have to be step one. I can't have a well pump without power, and there's no open breaker to add a circuit, so shoot. This does run out to the shed, so I know there's another panel out there, but the shed's further away, so I don't want to run electrical from the shed over there. Plus, I'm not sure how legit that is, so I probably got to upgrade this, so I might start looking into upgrading the service first. But while we're in here, isn't he so cute? Look at it. Classic A-frame with the big windows and a cast iron fireplace and the little adorable kitchen with a pull-out island. Countertop's got to go. We're going to get rid of those. But, a little workstation. Neat. I'm very excited. Oh no, maybe this guy wasn't very popular. But we're going to be popular. There's a loft up there. I'll show you guys that later. Just getting a little excited. Okay, we're back outside. There's the front yard. There's the shed. We'll go check out that panel. So, what's going to happen is, this is where our water comes in, and you find that because usually the hot water tank is the first point of entry into the house, because you're going to have the water that feeds the hot water tank, and then the hot water goes in for the rest. I don't know, where do we got? There's a cold branch. That right there is probably the other cold branch, so we should have cold water going into the house over there, maybe, and then hot water going into the tank and then back into the house. So we got some shenanigans over here, pulling right here. So the hot water is 240, so I know I got 240 right there, which makes sense because that's what the panel told us. And then somewhere under here is my water pipe, and I know from right there, that's electrical coming from the panel. So I'll be able to go from inside the panel, underneath exposed wire, to the trusses, and then when I go into the trench for my new well, I'm going to have to encase it, so we'll put it in conduit. So I came out here to mark this because I'm going to have the government people come out and scan and make sure I'm not going to hit any utilities. There's no way there's utilities out here. They'll probably find the water line from the old water line, and they'll probably find some electrical in there because we have electrical and plumbing running there. So we'll have to make sure that stuff is shut off before I actually start digging and we're ready to go, so that that's not a problem. And then in here, this is where I'm going to set up. This is currently just a well transfer house. So right now we have our feeder line right there coming from the neighbor's well, going up through this filter system, down out to a hose or wherever the heck it goes. And then that white PVC goes down to that guy, which then in turn goes back to the house. So we're not going to reuse that. We're going to get rid of that because that's coming off the neighbor's well. So what we'll probably do is disconnect from the neighbor's well over there and then just cut this off and leave it. But this shed needs rehabbed. Got to get rid of, I don't know, like we just got to clean this up. There's entry right there so the mice can get in, the rats, whatever. So this has got to get all cleaned up. I'm going to make sure all this wire's covered up and safe, and then we'll do the electrical and stuff the right way. And I guess now Snohomish County requires an exterior GFCI outlet, so we'll put one over here, and then we got to have a light. So we'll put an exterior light on this shack. And then, so that pipe that goes down, I'm assuming that's what this is, the hose. And then, it's a weird way to do it. I don't fucking know what that is. Maybe that's a breather. We'll find out. But this is a trench going from the back side of the property. And we're going to try and, I wanted to put the well here. Originally, when I had the drillers out here, we talked about back there, but I was thinking about it. If I put the well there, then if I drive big equipment in here ever, I got a stupid pipe in the middle of the way. Whereas if I got this location, I can drive around it, you know? So this is gonna be my new preferred spot. Hopefully I don't gotta do any damage to these trees. I wanna keep the trees. And then if for whatever reason my preferred spot doesn't work, then we're gonna use second choice back here, which is more out of the way, but also if I wanna build like a, I don't know, put a shipping container right here or a shed or like another little guest house or something, having this well right in the middle of a potential driveway or entryway is going to be a problem. And then also, I mean, I might want to put my chickens and, you know, animals up there, so I can't do that as easily if I have this big metal obstruction. But that's the house. This A-frame. They added the exteriors, the dormers there that made the upstairs loft bigger. So yeah, we got some work to do. Okay, on our way back to civilization. So next steps with that new information are, I already scheduled the dig people, so they're going to come mark out the utilities and tell me where I can and can't dig. I should measure those trenches so I can get like an accurate estimate of materials and conduit. I think I overestimated. I don't think that's even 100 feet. I was guessing 100 feet. I did not incorporate the wire, the length of the house, because I got to go from the panel, which is on the opposite end of the house, to that corner of the house. So maybe 200 feet of wire. So I need to measure that out specifically. And then I'm gonna go back to work and coordinate with one of my co-workers and figure out steps needed for upgrading the service. I design load centers and panel boards at work for our projects all the time, but I've never pulled a permit and wired one in myself. I've done all kinds of other electrical work, but this will be my first like personal service entrance that I'm gonna do and get inspected. So wish me luck. I'm confident I'll figure it out. Maybe not get a pass on the first go, but I'll definitely get it done. So we got to get that process started. That is actually something I want to start concurrently with drilling the well pipe, because it'll be great if we have a well and we have a well house and we have filters and plumbing, but if we don't have any power, that doesn't help us. So that's where I'm at now. Keep you updated.